you probably don't want to work with me. I have been called mean, direct, tenacious, and yeah, even a little scary by the agents on the other side. But I've also been called thorough, firm, strategic, and protective by my clients. And here's the truth. I am detailed-oriented, results-focused, level-headed, organized, bold, but approachable, and a persuasive negotiator. And when it comes to getting my clients into their right home, I don't play games. I know exactly how to protect you, how to win in this market, and make sure that you are not wasting your time or your money. But I am not the right agent for everyone. I literally have a sign in my house that says, I am not for everyone, because I have clear expectations. Well, let's be realistic. Let's call them requirements for us to work together. Now, that is not meant to scare you off. That is to make sure that when we do work together, we are aligned, focused, and we are ready to win. So if you're serious about buying a home, here's what I am going to need from you. Number one, you must have a pre-approval letter or proof of funds. If you do not have that pre-approval letter or proof of funds, I am not the one you want to work with, because I don't show any properties until I have that document in my hand. Sorry, that's just the way I work. If it's too mean for you, I understand. We're not supposed to work together. What I have learned with my 15 plus years in real estate is serious buyers talk to a lender, or serious buyers are willing to show that they have the funds in the bank. Many buyers that I've worked with ended up falling in love with a house, and then they could not get qualified, or they were not expecting the payments to be what they were, or they were not understanding of how much down payment was going to be required, and it just didn't work out for anybody. Also, many sellers will not provide access to a buyer unless they know that that is a serious buyer. And when you think about it, if the house is occupied, that means that the seller has to clean the house, remove the family and or kids. If they work from home, that means they got to juggle schedules and calls, and it's a really big inconvenience for them, for someone who has not taken the time to show that they can actually buy the house. So I know that it protects you from wasting your time looking for homes that are outside of your price range. And I've also had it go the other way, where you looked for homes that were way down in your price range, come to find out that you were able to qualify for $50,000 or $100,000 more, completely change the kind of house that you were looking for. So it protects you, it protects the sellers from wasting their time, and it does protect me from wasting my time. And the other thing I want to make sure about that pre-approval letter is you fully understand what the down payment requirement is. So when I'm talking to a buyer the other day and I said, hey, you need to have a pre-approval letter, and if you were going to buy, let's say, a $200,000 house and you need to put 3% down, that is $6,000. So I just want to make sure that you understand, and you know that in a bank account someplace you have $6,000, and then you have maybe another 3% so that you can pay for your closing costs and any other expenses that might come up. And in addition to that, you want to make sure that you're comfortable with the payment. I was helping a doctor look for a house once, and they said, you know what, I want to see a house and we're working on the pre-approval. We'll get that taken care of, but we've got to see this house right now because it's going to get off the market. This was early in my days, and this was where I made my mistakes. Ran out, showed them the house. They loved it. They were ready to write an offer. But when they found out what that monthly payment was going to be, while they could afford it, it's not something they were comfortable stroking a check for. Because you see, they had vacations planned, and they had family events that were happening, like a new child coming, that they needed to be prepared for, and that monthly payment was just going to spread them way too thin. So this is why it's so important that you get that pre-approval letter or you have the proof of funds so that you can be taken seriously and you're not wasting your time. Number two, we are going to have a buyer consultation. Yes, I know you don't want to do that. You've probably told a bunch of other realtors what you're looking for, but I don't know. So the first thing I have every buyer go through is a buyer questionnaire. And it's a very simple questionnaire. And once you're through the questionnaire, we are going to schedule a time to talk. First and foremost, I need to know that you're a real person. I need to know that you're not somebody who's saying, what's at me, and then you're going to show it a property and kill me. Like, that's a real thing. You can read any article and find out that it's happening. And so I take my safety very seriously, and I want to make sure that you are a real person and I shouldn't be worried about you. But the other thing is I want to make sure I am very clear on what your expectations are, your timeline, your wants, and your needs so that I can deliver on that for you. The third one is I don't make ridiculous lowball offers. Now, everything I'm telling you, I've done in the past and I've made these mistakes. So there was one time I was working with a buyer and every house that we saw, even though they were pre-approved, so let's say it was $300,000, every house that we saw that they were pre-approved for, they wanted me to write an offer for half. And I get it, we all want a discount. My first thought was, if the seller was really willing to take half, I would buy it. Or the listing agent would buy it, or somebody would have bought it by now. And don't think that someone hasn't already offered them much, much lower than the list price. So I get calls every single day and I get texts and emails every single day from buyers asking me if I'm willing to help them buy a property because they're an investor, which means I'm going to offer half for a property. I'm not the person for you because that is not negotiating. That is insulting. It's insulting for the seller. It's insulting for the agent on the other side. I am honestly embarrassed. And in this profession, I need for my colleagues to treat me seriously. And if you're a serious buyer, then you deserve a strategy to get the house, not a clown show. Number 4 to work together is we only see houses that match your criteria. So yes, if you are approved for $500,000, we are not shopping in the $1 million to $1.5 million range, hoping that they're going to come down to $500,000. Also, it is not fun to fall in love with something that you can't afford. Because if we saw that $1 million house and you've got that $500,000 budget, there is never going to be a house that is going to meet that expectation. So now you're just going to be shopping really, really sad and depressed that you don't have a $1 million budget. Also, it's going to waste your time, my time, and the seller's time because you're shopping for something that you can't afford. Now you might say to me, well, Tammy, you know what? If I found the right house, I would go ahead and bump my budget up. That's fine. I need to see that pre-approval letter that you know what that payment is going to be, you know what the down payment's going to be, you know what the closing costs are going to be, and that you have the money to do that and that you are comfortable with that. Because I don't want anybody to be house poor. You don't want to be house poor. It's really a terrible place to be. And I understand that criteria has changed. Many times when I'm working with a buyer, they'll say, you know what, I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a study. But as we're looking for houses and they're seeing what's out there, they're like, you know what, I'm gonna really need a 4 full bedroom, not a 3-bedroom with a study, but I'm gonna need a 4 full bedroom house, and then we will change the criteria and we'll change the houses that we look for. Number 5 to work together, and this is a sticking point. I do not give on this, and this is your pet is not allowed to come for the showing. Now, I said pet. I didn't say service animal or emotional support animal. Your pet cannot come to the showings. I myself, I love animals. We have 4 dogs and 2 cats, and I even foster kittens. That is how much I love animals, but I don't bring them to showings with me. Sellers do not want them in their house. Many may be allergic to them. I mean, this is serious business. This is not bring your pet to work day. Number 6 is a big one for me. And this is, I only work with people who are committed to working with me. You don't get to use me to open doors and do all of your research only to have your cousin end up writing the offer for you. Yeah, the one that was like too busy to come to the area and open your doors or doesn't know the market. That has happened more times than I like to actually share with you. When I work with you, I give you my time, my strategy, and my expertise, not free home tours. I will tell you what I tell all of my clients. I consider us working together to be a marriage. Yeah, a marriage. That is how much I am committed to you. And I am a jealous woman. So if I find out that you are cheating on me with like Zillow or Realtor.com and you're going to hit that button that says schedule a tour now or talk to the agent, I consider that cheating. I'm not okay with it. So if I'm going to be 100% committed to you and I'm going to give you all of my time, my resources, my energy, my education, my training, and work and fight for you, then I do expect the same level of commitment back. If you can't do that for me, that's okay. Best we know now. And when you want to come back, if you do, I will be here waiting for you. Number 7 to work together, and this does shock a lot of people, is I need to know that you know the city before we work together. I am not a tour guide. I have had many people reach out to me and say, you know what, I don't really know the area, but I'm gonna fly in on Friday. Go ahead and pick me up, take me to my hotel. Let's get together on Saturday. We'll have lunch, see some homes, take me back to the hotel that evening, or let's go out to dinner together and let's do it all again on Sunday and just show me around the area. And then I'll decide if I want to live there or Miami or North Carolina, Chicago, California. I'm not a tour guide. I am a real estate agent. So if you're wanting to learn the area, I will give you homes and areas for you to see. And I've had people say, well, I don't know if I'm going to like the area unless I see the house. I will tell you this, it doesn't matter how much you love the house. You can love that house like crazy, but if you can't stand the city, you can't stand the traffic, you can't stand the location, you are not going to buy the house. So you need to learn the city first and fall in love with the city before we can go house shopping. So once you've narrowed it down to my city, I will help you find a house. Number 8, you are ready to buy now. Not 3 months from now, not 6 months from now, not 3 years from now. For us to start working together, you need to be ready to buy now. I am not here to take you window shopping. And the house that you see now is most likely not still going to be there in 3 months, 6 months, or 3 years. If you're not ready to buy right now, I respect that. But we don't want to waste everybody's time, because that goes to one of the earlier ones, is we are going to ask the seller to leave the house and pack up any family members or pets and take them with us. Also, honestly, I only work with a small group of people because I want to make sure that when they call, I am ready and there for them. So if I take on 100 people and everybody is just window shopping and they call me and I'm like, oh no, I'm just window shopping with Sam this weekend. I'll be having an opening in 6 months to window shop with you. It doesn't make me available for the other people that are committed to work together. And quick story for you, I actually did this with my father-in-law. When he wanted to move to our area and live closer to us, he said, hey, I'm going to come in this weekend and let's just go check out houses. I've got 6 months or a year. I'll buy one then. And I said, listen, I don't show houses, I sell them. So if we're going out this weekend, I need to make sure that for the time and energy it's going to take and all the lives that we are going to disrupt, that you are going to be ready to buy if you see the right house. And he was like, okay, yeah. When we do that buyer consultation, I am so honed in on what you are looking for that it's not going to be hard for me to find it. And once we find it, I need to know that you're ready to move. So if you're not ready to buy, let's just take a pause and let's start shopping when you are ready. Number 9, and this also surprises a lot of people, but I don't do last minute showings and I don't do showings on holidays. So let me break that down into 2 parts. I don't do last minute showings. So if you call me up and you say, hey, I am standing outside of 123 Main Street, I'm not going to drop everything I'm doing and run over to 123 Main Street. It's a lot more work with that. I need to make sure that, one, the house is able to show. Some homes have requirements of 24 hours or more to be able to see the houses. Some houses require your pre-approval letter beforehand. Also, I might be working with another client at that exact moment. So when we go to see houses, we've already selected a date and time that we are going to go see houses. Now, I understand that there's going to be a house that pops up and says, hey, this just listed. Fantastic. Let's make an appointment for this evening or tomorrow morning, but not the kind of last minute where it's like, I'm outside of this house. Let's go see 16 homes today, right now. Let's go. The other thing I want to do with that is I want to make sure that I do the research on those homes. Let's say you're getting an FHA loan or a VA loan. They're going to have some requirements to be able to qualify for that house. So I have to make sure that the house is going to qualify. So I want to look at the seller disclosures. I want to look at the HOA. I want to look at the photos and make sure before I drag you all the way out to that house that it is the right house for you and give you all the information so that you can make an informed decision if you want to take your time and still go see it. And the second part to this is, no, I don't do holiday showings. So what I found that happens a lot is, like, say, Christmas is coming up, buyers are bored, they want to get away from the family, they want to get away from their friends, and they're like, you know what, it's Thanksgiving morning, I can't stand to be around Aunt Susie any longer, I'm going to call up my real estate agent or anybody who's going to answer the phone, and I'm going to ask them if they're going to let us into the house. No. So what normally happens during holidays is the seller is also celebrating that holiday, and they don't want people in the house because they already have a full house of people, so they're going to decline the showing anyway. So it's not likely that we're going to get in. So again, serious buyers make appointments to see houses, and they're not going to be looking on the holiday, and they're also not going to be angry that the seller is actually going to spend the holiday celebrating with family. Number 10 on my requirements is I want you to make sure that you've got your down payment and your closing costs. Now, I briefly covered that earlier. I just had a buyer call me the other day and they said, hey, I want to buy a home. I don't know anything about it. And I said, well, you're going to actually need some money. And they were like, surprised. And they said, I've got to have some money. I'm like, you got to have some money. Banks are going to require that you have skin in the game. Now, of course, the exception to that rule is if you're VA or you're going to go USDA. Now, that's the exception to the rule, but 9 times out of 10, most people are going to be either conventional or FHA. And that's going to require some down payment money. Conventional is going to require 3% down and FHA is going to require 3.5% down. So you got to look at your bank account and you got to say, do I have that money? If you do not have that down payment, there is not any way that you are going to be able to buy a house. So we want to make sure that you already have that money in the bank and it's already earmarked for it. And then you want to prepare for closing costs. Now, I definitely understand that you can ask the seller to cover some of those closing costs. Now, that normally comes at the closing table. Before the closing table, you're going to have to spend money on things like the home inspection, the appraisal, the survey. These are upfront costs that you're going to need the money for in addition to your down payment. And it is okay if you do not have that money today. My recommendation to all of my buyers that are in that position is open a savings account or some sort of account that you can put money into. For birthdays, holidays, always ask for money from family and friends. Put it in there. If you've got any money coming back from the IRS or you find a penny on the ground, put it in there and start saving. Because a seller is not going to wait for you to save your money when you find that perfect home. Number 11, and I laugh about this, but this is so true, and I definitely need for you guys to understand this. My profession is a realtor. Yep, I'm a real estate professional. I do not have any skill set in being a therapist. I don't have that built into my body, and I will probably just give you bad advice. So this is not the reason you want to hire me, is for me to be your therapist. So if you are lonely, bored, or you just want to hang out with me, I am completely flattered. But no, I am not your BFF or your girlfriend. And that's a true story there. I had a buyer reach out to me and they wanted to buy a house and they wanted to know like, hey, what's it gonna be if we decide to do some remodeling? Would you meet me over at Home Depot and let's see what like the tile and the cost is gonna be? And I thought, well, it's a little strange. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's a little strange. I will go ahead and meet you over there.
Oh, hell no!
3 hours together picking out tile on a house that they hadn't even bought or made an offer on yet. So picked out everything that was going to go in the house if they made an offer on this house. And then 2 days later, they called me. I didn't answer the phone fast enough because I was already working with somebody else at that moment. And they got angry at me for not answering the phone fast enough. And then I realized they didn't want a realtor. They were looking for a girlfriend. So let me be very clear. I am happily married. I am not leaving my husband. Very, very happily married. So if you were looking for a therapist, you're looking for a new BFF, I am not the person for you. I do know 100% how to help you find the right home and buy the home, but I have zero skill set in fixing your social life. Now, for many of you, this video probably has scared you off, but if you're not scared off, good. You might just be my kind of buyer. I am actually a lot of fun to work with, and by the time we get to the closing table, my clients have become really, really good friends. But make no mistake, I am very serious about my profession, and I'm very serious about the clients I work with. I am very selective on the limited number of clients that I work with at any given time to make sure that they are going to get my full attention. If you're not scared off yet and you think we might want to work together, then click on the link in the description below. Yes, I have a questionnaire. Once you complete that questionnaire, we will set up a call and make sure that we are a right fit. If we're not, I'm going to be honest with you and I'm going to tell you I'm not the agent for you, and I might know somebody who is that I can pair you with, because you deserve the right agent and a good experience. Now we're at number 12 for working together. And that is, I expect you to respect our appointment times. There is a lot of work that goes into scheduling a tour. We have to make sure that we talk to the agent and the sellers, and we have everything planned out in a timeline. So if you're one of those people who chronically texts, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm running 30 minutes late, as I'm standing at the front door with the seller going, are they gonna come here? There's an appointment right after you and I've got to take my dogs out and I just put my child down for a nap and I've got to get him up. Yeah, that's not going to work out. So I do expect you to respect the schedule because sellers have lives too, and so do I. Number 13 is no family reunions at showings. Now, that one's just a little bit crazy for me, but when it started happening, I was like, this is not working out. So if you're looking to bring your aunt, your uncle, your grandmother, your high school best friend, and maybe even your doctor to the showing so that everybody can weigh in on what they think of the house, it leads to just chaos. And honestly, let me tell you, not everybody's happy for you. You might think that they're happy for you and they say that they're happy for you, but I will tell you, I have seen not everybody's happy for you. Sometimes when your parents are there, they want you to move out and they tell you that, but they really, really want you to stay close to home, or they don't want you to leave the nest yet. Or if you've got kids and they're coming to the showing, and I mean like I'm a kid, for my parents, they may think that, you know what, you shouldn't live so far. You should live closer to us so that if something happens to you, we can take care of you. So I've seen all the scenarios play out. The people who are making the decision, the ones who are going to be stroking the check on the mortgage, living in the home day to day, they're the ones that should come to the showing. And everybody else can come celebrate once you've closed on the house. Otherwise, you just have way too many opinions. It leads to confusion and just chaos. Number 14, if you like to go to showings just for fun, I don't do that. I have found that there are many people that are like, you know what, let's go to Starbucks, let's get a coffee, let's go tour some of the houses, we'll get some decorating ideas, we'll kind of see how the other half live. No, I'm not going to do that. You can do that by yourself. There's this thing called open houses, and I want you to have a good time. But again, I'm working with serious people. I'm working with people who need to buy a house now, and I promise them my full attention. So I don't have time to tour homes for funsies. I work with real buyers. As I said at the beginning of this video, I am not the agent for everyone, and I like it that way. But if you've made it this far and you haven't been scared off, then we might work well together. But if you're serious, ready, and you want someone to help you buy smart, protect your money, and actually close on a home, then I might just be your girl. Not your girlfriend, but your real estate girl. Click the link below, fill out the questionnaire, schedule the buyer call, and let's get the keys in your hand for your home. Looking forward to talking to you, and I'll see you on the next video.